get off of your chair. Awesome this year, I promise it's here. So watch, rate, comment, and share. And click the sub, listen up. I'm telling you all of this because it's just begun. Hit me with some videos from Siggy Guns.
Yo, Ziggy here. Back from a long hiatus, sorry about that. Now I gotta get my hands on this Google Twitch deal. A lot of people are they were shocked about it. I tweeted out both the big mergers of the weekend, which was the DirecTV AT&T deal, and then the Google reportedly buying Twitch. Now a lot of people, whenever that announcement was first made and everybody started getting wind of it, people were in denial mode. They were either shocked, they had hashtags rest in peace Twitch. They couldn't believe that Google was buying Twitch, and they couldn't believe that they couldn't believe so much they thought it was a rumor. Now, it's not finalized. That's true. The AT&T DirecTV deal has been talked about for months, and now it's just now finalized. The board of directors finally approved it. But whenever it was first, rumbled, AT&T and DirecTV didn't say anything. They just let the people talk about it. They can't. Their hands are tied. Same here. Google and Twitch aren't going to say anything. Now, normally where there's smoke, there's fire. So this is going to happen. There's going to be an acquisition. It might not be for $1 billion. It might be a little bit more. I'm hearing that it's going to be close to what Google paid for YouTube, which is 1.65. So somewhere around that neighborhood. A lot of people think that's low. You got to remember there's a couple of things though. One, the company Twitch is only 3 years old. It started in 2011. And even in those 3 years, it only raised $35 million in capital from investors. So just take those two scenarios and you put that into perspective. It only got $35 million from investors, and now you got Google coming in with over $1 billion. Now that right there shows you that, hey, this is a deal we can't refuse. Now, there's a couple of reasons why they couldn't also. One is the fact that Twitch now has more than 45 million active users with over 1 million members, and they're watching, I think, somewhere around 1 billion minutes a month or something like that. Now, that's all impressive, but what the worry is if you're only raising 35 million in 3 years, you're raising 10 million a year, you're not going to be able to have the product be great in the future without doing something big. They needed money, period. And if you watch the movie like The Social Network, you saw how Facebook, how when they were running out of money and they needed servers and more people were jumping off Facebook, they went to all these companies to get money, etc., for exchange for equity, stuff like that. Twitch, I guess they were worried about giving up a lot of equity, or maybe people were asking too much. And if you watch Shark Tank, you see it all the time. You see a successful business go in, they offer, these sharks to jump in at a certain, percent of their equity, and they need that money to continue going forward. That's what's happening here. So while $1 billion might not seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, because people are just looking at it as as Twitch is a big company because they see what the numbers are pulling in, they're not profitable right now. That's what's happening with a lot of these companies. If you go on Shark Tank, you see that they barely make enough money to skate by, even though their company is successful. Same here. You have this company that's blowing up, especially ever since the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 integration with Twitch. They're blowing up, but guess what? They need to provide servers. They need to have all this money. They need to hire staff. They need to. The company's getting bigger at a faster pace than they would have liked in the end. So they're biting off more than they can chew, and they're in trouble at this point. They're not profitable. You can't go public. You're too young to do a lot of things. So now you got to go to the sharks, which the sharks is going to be Microsoft, which is going to be Apple, which is going to be Facebook, which is going to be Google. Those are the sharks. And they're going to go ahead and tell you, they're not going to go in and say, oh yeah, I'll give you, 200 million for, 30%. No, these guys they're not in that ballpark. They're not thinking, I want to be partners with you guys. They're thinking of swallowing you whole. So Google, knowing full well that they only got 35 million in 3 years, $1 billion is not something to sneeze at. So while there might be potential for them to get to that point in the future, $2-3 billion worth, they can't afford right now to take that product and wait that long to get to that time, you know, to get to that value, because they're going to be getting killed if more and more people come. They're going to be showing that the quality is not the same. You know, that chat that everybody loves so much is going to be falling apart right in front of their eyes, and you're going to be having slow buffering, all kinds of stuff, because they're not going to be able to keep up with demand. That's the nature of the beast. That's just the facts of business, and that's why companies like Google, Facebook, you know, Apple, and Microsoft, that's why they swallow these companies whole. That's why they're always buying, you know, stuff like this, tech-wise and video game-wise, things like that, because they know that these companies are going to be in trouble down the road because they don't have the equity or the money power to do it on their own. So this is Siggyv. Peace. I'm out. You know, that's my take on it, on the business side of things, not the scary, oh my god, Twitch is being bought out. Peace.